My name's Kyle Bennett, and this is a Boxing 101 boxing tutorial, boxing styles breakdown for you. Let me get my other glove on because you have two, not one. And we'll show you some shadow boxing, show you how to handle a street fight. Okay, so first thing, but different boxing styles. When people say style, people think, Muhammad Ali, people think Mike Tyson, where Mike Tyson in his early years ran the peekaboo, where he had his hands very up high, he was very low, kept his head moving. Ali, on the other hand, was very tall, he was very throwing jabs, then moving. So, it just depends on what you feel. It just depends on how you want to work it, what you want to do. But first things first, stance. Biggest thing with stance is you want your feet to be in an X shape. So if you can imagine an X shape, you want your feet to be at one point of the X and then at the other point of the X. That's how you want your feet to be, at least in Orthodox. Which, I don't fight Orthodox. I'm short. I'm only 5'5". I'm a heavyweight too, which really doesn't bode well for me. Most of those guys are 6'5", 6'6". They're a foot taller than me. So I tend to do the Mike Tyson thing, which is peekaboo, like I mentioned earlier. Peekaboo is really good because D'Amato, not the inventor of it, but one of the guys that was a major proponent of it, believed that peekaboo was the best style for boxing. He used on tall guys, short guys, taught different people it. They all loved it. But, so there's styles, and then there's your six basic boxing punches. So, if I'm Orthodox, which looks something very similar to this, you've got your jab, which is one. If you're right-handed, it's going to be your left hand, because your right hand is your power hand. You always want to keep that back. So you've got your 1, your 2, which is your straight right, 3, which is your hook, your lead hook, and then 4, which is your back hook. Now, those are your 6 basic punches. There's also another one, there's a 7th one that we just call 7, and it's that big overhand right. The only problem is, you gotta know when to throw it. You don't know when to throw it or throw it at the wrong time, you could get knocked out. Southpaws, if you're left-handed. You're the opposite. So your jab is your right, your 1. 2 would be a straight left. 3 is your lead hook. 4 is your left hook. 5, lead uppercut. 6, power uppercut. Right-handed, 5 and 6. 5, lead uppercut. 6, power uppercut. So that's basically basics in boxing. You could also combine footwork in there, where Ali was always very bouncy. He was doing this thing, and then he would just throw jabs and pop, just kind of move. You could do that. It tires you out after a while. He also did the rope-a-dope thing against George Foreman, where he just kind of got up against the ropes, moved his head, and made George Foreman miss a bunch. Just depends on what you want to do. Like I said, I fight peekaboo. I fight Mike Tyson style, where he was always very low, and he kept his head moving constantly, so that way his opponent couldn't find him. And then all of a sudden, boom! Just coming with a lead. Another one of his favorites is he would get on top of a guy, get him into a cinch, so they basically grab around his neck, and then he would pop, boom, hook and an uppercut. Most opponents couldn't handle that. Now, in the street fight, because that's the world that I come from, your 2 biggest weapons that you're going to have against somebody trying to attack you on the street, your 1 and your 2. Reason being, your 1 is how you find them, first and foremost. So that way I know that if I'm throwing 1s and I can't find the guy, I'm just out here punching air, pop, pop, nothing. All of a sudden, boom, I clock him right in the head. I know I can unload my right hand. All of a sudden, boom, boom. Guy's going to drop. At the very least, drop, if not totally leave you alone. If they're untrained. Now, if they're a trained opponent, carry a firearm, carry a knife, carry something else on you. That's the best advice I have. But in boxing, that's what I've been working on practicing is just my 1-2. Also can throw lead hooks. Tyson, however, was really good at throwing hooks and uppercuts. Tyson was really good at hooks. And I think it was due to his size, where Tyson was 5'11", 5'10", 10 and a half, somewhere in there. He was relatively short. Most of the guys he was facing were 6'1", 6'2", 6'3", all the way up to 6'4", 6'5". Just depends. Does that detract from Mike Tyson being one of the baddest men alive, as reported by some magazines of the era? Definitely not. He, in fact, more credit to him because he was a shorter guy taking on bigger guys and winning in a fair fight. Good example, Mitch Green, 6'5". Guy was a gangbanger in New York, had a problem with Tyson, they settled it in the ring, and then they got into a street fight. Mike Tyson then just came back and clocked him with a right and basically broke his eye socket, and then had enough power to fracture his wrist in the process. I will do another video on bare knuckle boxing, which is most likely what you're going to actually do in the streets. Because, I mean, obviously, if somebody comes up to you and says, hey, give me your stuff, you're not going to be, hold on, let me glove up, let me wrap my hands real quick properly. Then we can fight. It's like, no, that's going to take you another 5 minutes. By that time, he's going to be halfway down the road with his buddies. And there goes your wallet, your keys, and all your valuables. So I will do another video on bare knuckle boxing down the road, depending on how the channel goes. I'm hoping the channel takes off. The name of the channel is Middle Class Boxing and Shooting, because that's what I do. I'm technically, back when the middle class was the middle class, I would have been middle class. And I love boxing, and I love shooting, so Middle Class Boxing and Shooting. Now, back to the actual boxing part. You don't want to hear me talk, you just want to see me hit stuff, which I don't actually have a punching bag to hit. I'm kind of on camera for you guys. But Ali, if you want to fight like Ali, you gotta have really good footwork, which I don't have. Same thing with Mike Tyson. He had okay footwork, wasn't the best, but then again, when you're comparing him to Ali, then everybody's gonna pale in comparison to Ali. I mean, he was called the greatest for a reason. But either way, street fight, 1-2. And when you're boxing, you're 1, you want to bring it back as soon as possible. It's boom. You're 2, boom. Roll into it, come back. Roll in, come back. That's your 2. That's what you want to do, at least in orthodox. Peekaboo, you're going to be a little more square to the target. You're going to be kind of keeping your head here, and the reason why is because your kidney and your liver are right here. And if you can have your hands down and protect your face at the same time, you can block punches to the kidney and liver. Now, I'm right-handed naturally, so right here, boom, kidney's exposed right here. If you're a southpaw, you have a different problem. Liver's exposed. So yeah, southpaw's not great, which is why in the Rocky movies, Rocky's trainer, original trainer before Apollo Creed trained him, he said that southpaws should be banned from fighting. And that was because, partially, the liver was exposed, which most people cannot survive a liver shot. With training, I believe you could theoretically work up to that. However, a liver shot, a good clean liver shot, should be able to drop anybody. Good clean kidney shot, not great. Survivable, but not great either. Another guy, if you like different styles, Roy Jones Jr. was his name. Back when he was younger, he fought in what's known as Philly shell. Philly shell looks a lot like this. A lot of people go, why? Well, for one, I have great visibility. I can see everything like this. And 2, let's say somebody throws a jab. All I have to do is this. Boom. I just blocked your jab. Pop. Pop. I just blocked your jab. You can't use your jab. Let's say somebody throws a 2. All I have to do, this. Roll down, bounces off my shoulder. So, 1, 2. That easy. Another thing you could do is, if you're in Philly shell, is let's say somebody throws a 1, 2, boom. Come up with a jab. Wouldn't recommend it. You could do it, Probably shouldn't. Never seen it done. I don't believe I ever saw Roy Jones Jr. do that. Just thinking outside the box. If you're ever in a street fight and you want to look fancy. Another thing is, Roy Jones Jr. also adopted hands down. So his hands were oftentimes at his sides, like this. And all of a sudden, boom. He could just come up and pop, pop, pop. He could just throw jabs from basically down at his hips or even lower. Just boom. Which, if I scoot closer to the camera, his hands are down here, and then boom, he would just back up, throw jabs. Another good thing about Tyson was because of how tight and compact and how low he was and kept his head moving, he could just work his way in and keep throwing hooks. Now, another advantage to peekaboo style that Cus D'Amato was actually a fan of is it turns every shot into a power shot. What I mean by that, your jab is a measuring stick. That's how you find your opponent. Most people, I say most because it's been done before and I've seen it been done before, don't knock an opponent out with their jab. I know that there's probably going to be people in the comments section to say, yeah, but Herrera versus Sellers. I know, guys, I'm a fan of Brandon Herrera myself. But, either way, your jab, generally a measuring stick. When Tyson's low, one of the things he would do is his weight would be perfectly distributed. So if he wanted to move forward, left, boom. Right, boom. That's all he had to do. All he had to do was transfer his weight to one side or the other, throw a hook to the body. That was it. Or, if he was really feeling frisky, one of the things you'd see him do is pop, boom, hook to the head. And because both of those are power shots, extremely powerful shots, most guys would get knocked out. So, I'm just going to shadow box. You guys can watch. If you want to critique boxing, if you want to do anything, feel free to do that in the comment section. If you want to be mean and be a jerk, go ahead. I don't care. So, I'm just going to shut up and shadow box. You guys can watch me. This is part of my workout routine, so either way, have fun. Now, another thing, you'll see me take breaks here and there, cool down. In an actual fight, it's 3 minutes on, 1 minute off, 3 minutes on. Boom! And that right there, that short two, could easily be a knockout. Another thing is, uppercuts. They're great. Really good. Two kinds of uppercuts. Body and head uppercuts. Muhammad Ali was really good. He was always off balance though, because he was constantly moving. So, advantage, he's constantly moving. Disadvantage, not on balance. So, Ali versus Frazier 3. Muhammad Ali took some uppercuts to the head from Joe Frazier, and it threw Ali off balance. He didn't get knocked down because Ali, again, that constant movement means his feet were constantly moving, and in a way he was kind of on balance, but he really wasn't. Ali, another good thing about him, he was a fantastic jabber. If you want to look at your jab and you fight orthodox, watch Ali's fights. The guy was a phenomenal jabber. If you're short like me, watch Tyson's fights. Reason being, Tyson does not get credit for his jab. He actually invented a new jab in boxing. It's called the slip jab. What he would do is an opponent would say throw, let's say a bigger opponent like Mitch Green or somebody would throw a jab. What he would do is he would time it, move his head, and throw a jab. And I actually got off balance there. So what it would look like is he was peekaboo, opponent would throw a jab, he would step, boom, and then step into it. He would actually move his upper body off and then step and jab to the head. If you're short, could work. Did work for Tyson at least. Then again, Tyson was also trained under Cus D'Amato. Ali, when he was fighting, he said he was only ever scared to fight one person. That was Sonny Liston. Reason being, if you look up Sonny Liston, the guy was freaking huge. Muhammad Ali even said that one size of his fists was like both of his put together. That's how big that guy was. Now, a lot of people discredit Tyson because they said he never had a decent opponent to fight. Maybe, maybe not. Guys like the Four Kings, out of boxing. Muhammad Ali, not in boxing anymore. Ali was too old to fight. The Four Kings had just ended their reigns. However, does that detract from the fact that Mike Tyson went in as the second shortest or the shortest heavyweight boxer and took the championship 3 times? No, it doesn't. Later on in his life, he switched to an orthodox style, proving that, yeah, a shorter guy can fight orthodox. Should they? Probably not. Later on in Tyson's life, he did get knocked out quite a bit. Just depends. I prefer to watch Tyson when he was young because that was phenomenal. Some of his young fights were just amazing. Buster Douglas, I think, knocked Tyson out. A couple other guys knocked him out. So it just depends. But either way, in a street fight, but going back to street fighting, one of the things that I believe Mike Tyson saw was Mitch Green probably threw a big overhand right, because he fought orthodox. Big overhand right. If you see a southpaw in a street fight, which I never have, I don't know if it's left brain, right brain type thing, but a southpaw fighting in a southpaw stance, big overhand left. Well, you as a boxer, or even if you've studied any other kind of martial art, probably saw what was open. Big overhand left. Kidney shot on a southpaw, or if you're orthodox, liver shot on right-handers. A good boxer, or even a mediocre boxer really, could very easily see that punch coming in, that big overhand right, step right, boom, throw a power shot right to the liver. Southpaw. Good boxer could again see that punch coming, step, boom, load the left, right into the kidney. Most guys, that's going to stop them right there. And if you're actually practicing boxing or practicing a martial art, you're probably going to be fitter than I am. I'm not the fittest guy in the world. I do this for fun. I started a YouTube channel for fun. But yeah, if you're into boxing, anything like that, you can see a guy telegraphing a punch. When they drop their hand like this, you know a big overhand right's coming. Working on it, I know, I'm not perfect at all. Another good shot, since I was rubbing my chest, there's a shot right about here called the solar plexus. You hit the solar plexus, it will pretty much knock anybody out. Finding it, pretty easy. Right where the chest bones meet, right in the center. All you have to do is land a clean jab right to the center, and most people can't handle it. So, I've rambled on long enough. This is a 22 minute long video. I will keep you guys updated on new content coming on the channel. Again, we are a shooting and boxing channel, so if you like shooting or boxing, this channel should appeal to you. If you don't like boxing or shooting, well, I can't help you. I really can't. Sorry. But either way, this video's gone long enough. I think you get the idea of what I'm trying to say. Different boxing styles you could use. If you want to get into boxing, stay tuned. I will have hand wrapping videos and things like that later on. Thanks.